Oh my god, everybody, this is the greatest thing ever, most unexpected thing to drop Friday night. So we gotta talk about all the crazy stuff that showed up in that concept art, like Thor's new weapon, which is either his axe or Ultimate Thor's hammer, in that very sanctuary-looking set that they said that they were filming on during day one. So there's a new round of the Spider-Man giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's for one of those new Hasbro Spider-Man figures. And a huge shout out to my friend Comic Storian for answering all my questions about hiring minions. That's right, you might see some minions helping me edit videos on Emergency Awesome soon. So let's do it. The picture of the hardback comic that you're seeing on the table here is from Infinity Gauntlet, but it's basically like a giant collected special edition of the Infinity Saga, which contains a bunch of different Infinity storylines. Infinity Gauntlet is just one of those, and that's basically what's going to be happening in the first movie, but obviously the MCU changes things, so all these sticky notes are just like the really important things that they want to include in the movie, so obviously it's not all going to be in there, and I'll do a separate video that explains the reading order and all the different storylines that make up the Thanos Infinity Saga, because you have Infinity Gauntlet Aftermath, Infinity War, which is actually a different comic book, even though that's the name of the movie. Then after that, you have things like Infinity Crusade, Infinity Watch, which are completely different ideas. So it goes on and on. There is a lot of Thanos Infinity Gauntlet storylines. You don't need to read them all, but if you do want to, it's actually really good. I mean, it's a really cool storyline. But the only one you should check out is Infinity Gauntlet. That's the storyline of him going around collecting the gems the first time. You've probably seen that comic book panel with him standing next to Mephisto and Mephisto going, "Oh my god, he's actually gonna do it. The bastard is gonna do it." Snaps his fingers and erases half of all life in the galaxy. That's the pitch for the first film. That's the thing that the Avengers, Tony Stark, are trying to stop. And the way they explain this is that they're filming both of these Avengers movies back to back, even though the second movie isn't going to be called Infinity War anymore. It'll be called Infinity Crusade or something completely different, but they will be pulling from the comics. So if you've read the stuff that comes after the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, then they'll be pulling from that. But don't worry, because they're shooting all year, actors will be coming and going. They're filming all these other movies at the same time too. They're filming Black Panther right now. Obviously, Black Panther's going to be in Infinity War, so he'll be bouncing back and forth between sets just like the other actors. They're starting Ant-Man and the Wasp really soon. Those actors are going to be in Infinity War. So imagine Infinity War the movie is like this giant base camp of Marvel. Their giant headquarters with all these other satellite movies filming with people going back and forth throughout the rest of the year. The really important story details they revealed is that Tony Stark is the person who is leading the charge. He's more mature, at least they call him more mature in this movie, whatever that means. He keeps seeing that vision that Scarlet Witch gave him, the Chitauri. He keeps hallucinating stuff like that. He knows that something is coming in the way that Thor had visions during Avengers Age of Ultron of the Infinity Gems. So that's why Kevin Feige said that it was really important that they break the Avengers apart and do Civil War so that they were completely unprepared for Thanos. So Robert Downey Jr. even teased that Captain America is still kind of on his shit list, even though he doesn't absolutely hate him. They're not really speaking that much. So even though they had that day one moment in the set on this teaser, it looks like they're in outer space. It looks like it picks up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That doesn't necessarily mean that is where the movie's going to begin. That's just one of the first things they started filming, but it does look an awful lot like Sanctuary. And really cool, they said that Thanos is supposed to be the main character of Infinity War, the way you follow him around, the way the story is centered on him, like you would see Iron Man be the main character of an Iron Man film. So it's almost like Thanos is getting his own solo movie with a bunch of Avengers guest starring in it. But that's kind of what the Infinity Gauntlet storyline is in the comics. The Avengers just come in and out, the other heroes, the Infinity Watch, Adam Warlock. And I know everybody's asking about Adam Warlock. He was nowhere to be found in any of this concept art. It doesn't seem like the movies are doing him, but if we see anything different, I'll totally do a video about it. But I'm assuming for now, he is not going to be a part of the MCU. But they do have a Yesha, who's sort of like an Adam Warlock clone in the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, so I'll add a link to that video at the end of this. I talk a little bit about her. She seems like the closest to Adam Warlock that we're going to get. She's grown in a cocoon just like him, that's why she has gold skin. So other big character reveals though. There's some concept art. You see a new design for Thanos without his armor on. You see Thor with Rocket Raccoon going to town, looking like he has a different version of the hammer. This was one of the biggest things that you guys were going crazy about on Twitter last night. Everyone was going nuts, like, what is he holding? This does not look like Mjolnir. So what I think is going on is that it's either his war axe that he has in the comics right now, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, or more likely what I think it is it's Ultimate Thor's axe hammer, which is Mjolnir, but just from a different universe. So that brings up a whole bunch of questions. That's a potential spoiler for Thor Ragnarok. So there's only a couple ways that he could actually get a more hardcore version of Mjolnir. One would be the multiverse explainer, which is where Doctor Strange would come in because he has gone into different dimensions. Or two, slightly more likely, they just reforge Mjolnir in the course of whatever big final battle they have at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and he gets a more hardcore version of the hammer with the axe on it. But it's basically just Ultimate Thor's hammer from the Ultimates universe, and they actually just did that in the comics now. If you've been reading the Thor comics, Jane Foster's been wielding the main universe's version of Mjolnir, and unworthy Thor, like our version of Thor, is getting ready to get Ultimate Thor's hammer. So in the movies, just because they tend to simplify things, I think it's just more likely that something happens to Mjolnir and they have to reforge it and it becomes a much more hardcore version of that. So you guys can let me know, what do you think that he's wielding in this? But it looks like they purposefully kept this off the page just so they wouldn't openly reveal it. But you can see the curve here. Like, the hammer has no curve, so this is definitely a different weapon. Speaking of new toys, what about Iron Man's armory? This is in the new Avengers facility, so you see he does have an armory in there. Hopefully we'll see it during Spider-Man Homecoming, or at least get a teaser for it, but he's going to be getting all kinds of new suits during the movie. Because it's a space-based movie, I think most of us agree that it'll probably be a variant of the Model 45 version of the suit that he wore when he was traveling with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It was just a version that was designed to function in deep space in a way that his normal armor was not. Sort of as a tangent to that, Spider-Man suit. Because he's the kid on the team, Tony isn't super jazzed up about throwing him into harm's way. It's possible that he'll get some minor tech upgrades, but I'm not expecting full-blown comic book Iron Spider. But the Russos did tease a long time ago, like way back last year, that he would have a new version of the suit. They just didn't say how different that suit would be. But he's effectively wearing an Iron Spider suit to begin with because it was designed by Tony Stark. The reason they call it the Iron Spider suit in the comics is just because it's designed by Tony Stark, but it's literally made of the same metal that Iron Man suits are made of. So maybe in the way that Iron Man's suit will be designed to function in deep space, maybe Spider-Man will get a slightly beefed up version, but I still think, because of whatever their sharing arrangement is with Sony, it will still look very much like the Spider-Man colors. They're not going to do a completely different color scheme. Probably a better example would be the evolution of the Captain America suit. It gets a little bit cooler, a little more tactical as you go along, so I'm expecting the same thing with Spider-Man's suit, but it'll still look like comic book Spider-Man. What about the Infinity Gems though? So if the intro from the Collector didn't tip the hat enough, the Collector will be in the movie. He's one of the Elders of the Universe, so obviously he's going to be a really important figure. He still has the Reality Gem from the end of Thor the Dark World, so either he's going to have to parlay with Thanos or something's going to happen because that gem is going to make it into that gauntlet eventually. Meanwhile, over in Thor Ragnarok, Jeff Goldblum's playing another Elder of the Universe, the Grand Master, so he'll probably have something to do with Thanos and the Infinity Gems as well. Vision still has the Mind Gem in his forehead, so something crazy is going to have to happen to him. The Soul Gem is really the last one that we're waiting for, so we have Black Panther in Thor Ragnarok for that to show up. And there's a number of different ways you could justify that showing up in those movies, so even if the Soul Gem doesn't appear during Thor Ragnarok, we'll at least get confirmation of when it will show up. But just a reminder that both of these Avengers films will film back to back, so just expect a whole bunch of this behind the scenes stuff to be happening throughout the year as actors come and go from the set. Like Tom Holland, for instance, has to go start working on the Spider-Man sequel eventually, so he'll be doing Infinity War stuff, he'll be doing press tour stuff for the first Spider-Man Homecoming film, and then like way later this year, they'll start pre-production for the next Spider-Man film, because they've already confirmed that second Spider-Man film. I think nobody is doubting that it's going to make billions of dollars. Of course, they're going to be making more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So what I'll probably do on Monday is a Thanos comic book storyline video just to explain some of the differences between the comic and what the movie might be cutting out of that. Because it is such a big story, there are so many tie-ins and so many characters. But there's going to be a whole bunch more Avengers, a bunch more Spider-Man. Thor Ragnarok coming soon. There will be some Thor Ragnarok next week too, because there's some special Thor bonus features on the Doctor Strange Blu-ray, so I'll do videos for that stuff next week. What's gonna happen next is I'll post my Lego Batman Easter egg video tonight just to give you guys a chance to see the movie. There's a crazy number of Easter eggs. It was actually a really funny movie. But congratulations to the new Spider-Man giveaway winner, John Hurtado. You have quite a profile image there. So please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. You win one of those Spider-Man Hasbro figures. There's a new round that started in this video. I'll just announce the winner the next time I post a Marvel video. So maybe some Thor Ragnarok on Sunday. It's been a while since I've done a Thor video. While you wait for that, you can click here to rewatch that Infinity War teaser a billion times, and you can click here to check all the videos that you may have missed this week. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let's high five. I'll see you in the next video.